Hey, ProbStats kids, this is Dr. Callahan with Probability and Statistics, Week 7, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, we're halfway there. I hope you guys are having a good week, so go ahead and pause your video and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started with today's stuff. Your warm-up block is coming up and it is due on week 9 Friday, so this is week 7. Wednesday, so you have a few more weeks before it is due. If at any point you need to go ahead and get any of the missing 3 boxes, everything since week 1 Monday is on the YouTube channel, so just go into MS Team and find the channel for each week. You should have approximately 135 boxes, but I'm only counting 100, so anything over 100 will be considered as extra credit. The big one here is participation. Participation goes for virtual days as well. So if you don't check in with me, you're not physically participating. So make sure you are checking in with your attendance. Last time when I saw you guys on Tuesday, we went over several things. We went over the spinner question right here on this coming Monday. You guys had a rubric that you had to do that goes along with it. This is a rubric that if you were with me in class, we went ahead and completed in terms of your questions on the spinners and your answers. All right, so today, this is kind of the breakdown. We're gonna start with 11.6, day 1, brand new section, examples 1, 2, and 3 on page 10. We're gonna talk about events involving not, the word or, and odds. Like what are the odds of blah, blah, blah. We're gonna look at probability of events not occurring, probability with mutually exclusive events, and probability with events that are not mutually exclusive. And what does that mean? And then we're gonna go over objective number 11 on page 22. And I'm gonna have you guys create a dice with a scissor and glue, and you're gonna make up your own probability questions when it comes to a dice. Your homework tonight is gonna be 11.6, numbers 1 to 6 all. So make sure you guys go on to the Google Doc, scroll down to week 7, Wednesday, and show your work on the homework template. And as always, the homework template is on the back of your white packet. Okay, so if you are in class with me, you should have this paper. If you're not in class with me, that's completely okay. You don't have to cut this out, but you will have to go ahead and answer the following questions. So what you're gonna do is you are going to answer the following 2 questions right here. And what I want you to do is come up with 10 questions that pertains to rolling this die. And again, if you're at home, it's okay. You don't have to cut it out. Just give me the 10 questions. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and go to page 10 of your guided notes. Go ahead and read our objectives. All right, so if we know that P of E, we can determine the probability that events will not occur, denoted by P of not E. And the event not E is going to be the complement of E because it is a set of all outcomes in the sample space S that are not outcomes in event E. So the way I think about it is P of E is equal to the probability of event versus P of not E, which is going to be the probability of events that do not occur. Okay, so let's go over the complement rules of probability. So P of not E equals 1 minus P of E. P of E equals 1 minus P of not E. These two are actually reversible. Okay, so P of E is what occurs. P of not E is what does not occur. So let's take a look at an example. If you're dealt with one card from a standard of 52 card deck, find the probability, and remember probability is always in a fraction where the small number's on top and the bigger number is on the bottom. Now you're not dealt, so the word key is not dealt, a queen. So let's look for the probability of actually getting a queen. Well, there are 4 queens in a deck of 52 cards. If I reduce that, I'm going to get a 2 over 26, which is 1 over 13. This is a probability of something occurring, like actually getting a queen occurring, okay? Occur, there we go. So then on the opposite of that, if I am to get something that's not to occur, now look at this, it is going to be 1 minus what actually occurs. So that means I just do probability of not getting a queen is equal to 1 minus of getting a queen. Probability of getting a queen. Well, I already know that the probability of getting a queen is 1 over 13. So then I'm going back to elementary school where I need to have common denominators, which gives me a 12 over 13. And that is my answer. That is my probability of not getting a queen. And another way of saying this is probability with a prime, which is not getting a queen. So instead of putting not queen, you could just put a prime, which is also not. Okay? Now let's take a look at example number 2. Go ahead and read example number 2. Find the probability that you are not dealt a diamond. So not being the keyword. So let's first find the probability of actually dealing with a diamond. You know that in a deck of 52 cards, there are 4 suites. Out of those 4 suites, one of them is a diamond. And there are 13 cards. That would be diamond. So my probability of getting a diamond is 13 out of 52, which is the same thing as 1 out of 4, if you divide 13 on top and bottom. So now that I have a probability of getting a diamond, let's find the probability of not getting a diamond, which is going to be 1 minus the probability of getting a diamond. So that's going to be 1 minus 1 over 4. And just like the last one, you have to have the common denominator, which is going to give you a 3 over 4, which is a 0.75 or 75% chance of getting that. All right, let's go on to example 3. Go ahead and read the example for example 3. Okay, so A is not in the 20 to 29 age group. Keyword here being not. So the probability of not being in the 20 to 29 age group is going to be 1 minus the probability of being in the 20 to 29 age group. If you take the 20 to 29 age group, there are 33. So 1 minus 33 over, and the total here is going to be 191 million right there. So then I'm going to have 191, which is still 1, minus 33 over 191, which is going to give me 158 over 191. And if you put that into a decimal and then divide and put into the percentage, the decimal will be 0.8272 or 82.72%. On the other hand, what is the probability of somebody that is less than 80 years old? Well, that one is going to be less than 80 years old. So if it's less than 80 years old, I don't know about that because I have somebody who is greater than 80 years old, and that's 6 million people. So then rather than counting like all the people that are younger than 80, which is what I'm trying to find here, which would be the 9 plus the 33 plus the 40, 40, 31, 19, 13, which would take you a little bit of time to add up and whatnot. The smarter way of dealing with this is finding the not. So maybe if we can go ahead and find the probability of somebody who is not less than 80 years old. So if it's not less than 80 years old, that means it is somebody that is greater than 80 years old. So what I'm going to do here is going to do 1 minus somebody who is greater than 80 years old. So I am going to take 1 minus somebody who is greater than 80 years old, which is 6 million people, over 191. Common denominator is 191 minus 6 over 191. And that's going to give me the number of people who is going to be younger than 80 years old. So that's going to give me 185 million people. And if I divide that, my decimal is going to be, my decimal is going to be 0.9686 or 96.86%. So as you can see, anybody who's over 80 years old is going to represent a very small, like 3%. Anybody who is younger than 80 years old consists of 96%. Now, you can find the same way if you decide to go ahead and add everything up. So you could just do 13 plus 19 plus 31 plus 40 plus 33 plus 9, which is still going to give you a total of 185 divided by the total of 191 million people. So as you can see here, it is still going to give you the same answer. $185, $185, same answer. But one way is definitely smarter. All right, you guys. So with that said, I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and get started with objective number 11, I believe. Objective number 11 is going to be right over, whoops, that's not it. Right here, here we go. So go ahead and answer those questions. Pause the video. When you're ready to check your answers, go ahead and take a look at my work for A, for B, and for C. All right, you guys. So next what I want you guys to do is make sure you actually answer the following 10 questions. Just like the spinner question where you created 10 questions about a spinner, give me 10 questions about rolling a die. You can use different vocabulary words like, what are the chances of getting a 2 or a 4? What are the chances of getting 1 and a 5? Stuff like that. So, or you can say something like, what are the chances of getting or rolling something with a sum of greater than 4? So that's another really good question. So go ahead and get started with this. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good day.